Fade in. EXT, blue sky day. A commercial airplane cruises high above the clouds. Its sleek body gleams under the bright sun. Inside, passengers are relaxed, some reading, others chatting, and a few napping. The sound of the engines hums steadily. Int. Airplane cabin day. Lila, 12, a curious and spirited girl, sits by the window. Her younger brother, Tommy, 8, energetic and always fidgeting, occupies the seat next to her. Their parents, MR and MRS, Carter, are seated across the aisle, engrossed in their magazines. Lila, whispering to Tommy, "Stop kicking the seat in front of you. People are staring." Tommy, grinning mischievously, "I'm just stretching my legs." Lila rolls her eyes and turns back to the window. Below, vast stretches of forest cover the landscape. Suddenly, the plane shakes. Captain VO. Over intercom, calm but firm. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're experiencing some turbulence. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened." The passengers murmur, some tightening their belts. Lila grips the armrest, her knuckles turning white. Tommy, excitedly, "Whoa! It's like a roller coaster." The plane jolts again, this time more violently. Oxygen masks drop from the ceiling. Panic spreads like wildfire. Captain VO. Over intercom, urgent. "Brace for impact. We're making an emergency landing." EXT, forest day. The airplane roars as it descends, its engines sputtering. Trees rush up to meet it. The sound of snapping branches and tearing metal fills the air as the plane crash lands in the dense forest. Smoke rises from the wreckage. Int. Airplane cabin day. Lila opens her eyes, dazed. The cabin is tilted, seats are broken, and debris is scattered everywhere. She looks at Tommy, who's trembling but unharmed. Lila, softly, "Tommy, are you okay?" Tommy nods, voice shaking. "I think so." MR and MRS, Carter, stumble over, helping Lila and Tommy out of their seats. Around them, passengers are groaning, some injured, others trying to assist. EXT, forest day. The survivors gather near the wreckage, assessing the situation. The captain and flight attendants try to maintain order. Captain, to the group, "We need to stay together and set up a safe area. First, let's account for everyone." Lila notices Tommy wandering away, his curiosity getting the better of him. Lila, whisper, yelling, "Tommy! Stay here!" Tommy, pointing, "Look! There's something moving in the trees." Lila hesitates, then follows him. They creep toward the shadows, where the undergrowth rustles. Suddenly, a wild boar bursts out, snorting and charging toward them. Lila, grabbing Tommy's hand, "Run!" They sprint back to the group. The boar stops short, startled by the larger crowd, and retreats into the forest. Captain, to everyone, stay alert. This forest is home to wildlife, and we're not the only ones here. EXT, campsite night. A fire crackles in the center of a makeshift camp. Survivors huddle together, sharing supplies and stories. The Carter family sits close, Lila clutching Tommy's hand tightly. "Mrs. Carter." Softly, "We're lucky to be alive." Mr. Carter nods. "But we need a plan. Rescue might take days." Captain, to the group, "Tomorrow, we'll scout the area and look for higher ground to signal for help." Lila and Tommy exchange a glance. They're scared but determined to stay strong. EXT, forest day. The survivors split into small groups to explore. Lila and Tommy stick close to their parents. The forest is thick, with towering trees and tangled vines. Every sound seems amplified: the crunch of leaves, the chirp of birds, the distant howl of an unknown animal. Tommy, whispering, "Do you think there are bears here?" Lila, smirking, "Let's hope they're not hungry." They stumble upon a small stream. The group pauses to refill water bottles and rest. Suddenly, a loud scream echoes from another group. Captain, Radioing other groups. What happened? Report. Voice VO. Panicked through radio. One of us fell into a pit. It's like a trap. The group rushes to the location. They find a deep pit with sharpened stakes at the bottom. A survivor clings to the side, injured but alive. Captain. Grimly. This wasn't made by animals. Mrs. Carter. Whispering to Mr. Carter. You think someone lives here? Someone dangerous? Mr. Carter doesn't answer, but his worried expression says it all. EXT, Forest Night. The survivors reinforce their camp, building barriers with fallen branches. Lila and Tommy lie awake, listening to the eerie sounds of the forest. Tommy. Whispering. Lila? What if the people who made that trap come for us? Lila. Firmly. Then we'll fight. We'll protect each other, no matter what. Suddenly, a loud rustling noise comes from the edge of the camp. The group jumps to their feet, grabbing whatever makeshift weapons they can find. Shadows move just beyond the firelight. Captain. Calling out. Who's there? No answer. The shadows retreat. The group stays on edge, taking turns keeping watch through the night. EXT, Forest Day. The next morning, Lila and Tommy join a scouting group. They discover an abandoned village, overgrown and eerie. Wooden huts with broken roofs and remnants of tools suggest it was once inhabited. Tommy. Looking around. Do you think they're still here? Lila. Quietly. I don't know. But we should leave before they come back. As they turn to leave, they hear distant voices. The group hides, watching as a band of rough-looking men enter the village, carrying weapons. It's clear these are not friendly locals. Scout. Whispering. We need to get back and warn the others. EXT, Campsite Night. The survivors prepare for the worst. They fortify the camp further and create escape routes. Lila and Tommy help gather supplies. Lila. To Tommy. Stick with me, no matter what happens. Promise? Tommy. Nods. Promise. Suddenly, the attackers emerge from the trees, shouting and waving weapons. Chaos erupts as the survivors defend themselves with improvised tools and sheer determination. Lila and Tommy fight side by side, using sticks to fend off the attackers. The survivors work together, their unity overpowering the attackers' aggression. After a fierce battle, the attackers retreat, leaving the survivors shaken but victorious. EXT, Forest Dawn. The first rays of sunlight break through the trees. The survivors, battered but alive, regroup. Captain. Looking at the horizon. We made it through the night. Now let's signal for rescue and get out of here. Lila and Tommy sit together, watching as a rescue helicopter appears in the distance. Relief washes over the group as they wave frantically. As the helicopter lands, Lila squeezes Tommy's hand. Lila. Softly. We did it. We're going home. Fade out.